Imagine waking up in a world where every single action you take, every device you use, every meal you cook is powered by the remnants of ancient life. Sounds like science fiction, right? But it's not. It's our reality. Every time you charge your phone, drive your car, or even boil water for tea, you're tapping into energy sources that have been buried for millions of years. Now let's dive deeper into a fact that might just blow your mind. You might think we're living in a modern age, an age of technological marvels and innovations, but did you know that a staggering 83% of our entire global energy system is still based on fossil fuels? That's right, 83%. We're not talking about a small percentage here, we're talking about the vast majority of our energy. Coal, oil, natural gas. These are the ancient relics that power our modern world. But here's where it gets even more unsettling. When we talk about energy consumption, there's a term called primary energy supply. This encompasses all forms of energy that enter our global system. And guess what? Even with all our advancements, all our progress, coal still sits right there at the top, alongside oil and natural gas. Electricity generated from water, wind, solar energy, and even nuclear fusion, they're just a drop in the ocean compared to the behemoth that is fossil fuels. And this isn't a recent phenomenon. This overwhelming reliance on fossil fuels has been the status quo for a very, very long time. So the next time you look at that sleek smartphone in your hand or drive that modern car, remember, beneath that facade of modernity, we're still deeply entrenched in the energy habits of the past. And the question we need to ask ourselves is, how much longer can we afford to live like this? Let's embark on a journey through time. 2 decades ago, the world stood at the dawn of a new millennium. There was hope, excitement, and a belief that we were on the cusp of a green revolution. Fast forward to today, and you'd expect that we'd made leaps and bounds in our transition to renewable energy, right? Prepare to be shocked. In the past 20 years, our global dependence on fossil fuels has barely budged. Think about that for a moment. 2 entire decades, and we've only managed to reduce our reliance by a few measly percent. It's like trying to empty an ocean with a teaspoon. Now let's talk about Germany. Often hailed as the poster child for renewable energy, Germany took aggressive steps to shift away from fossil fuels. They poured resources, time, and effort into this grand vision. And after 20 years of relentless pursuit, what did they achieve? A drop from 84% to 76% dependence on fossil fuels. That's it. Just 8% in 20 years. But why is this transition so painfully slow? It's not for lack of trying. The truth is, energy transitions are complex, massive undertakings. They're not like the latest tech trends that come and go. We're not swapping out old phones for new ones or trading in DVDs for streaming. We're talking about overhauling the very foundation of our modern civilization. And here's a fact that might send chills down your spine. Transitioning to a new energy system isn't as simple as switching from landlines to cell phones or propeller planes to jetliners. Those are mere subsystems, tiny parts of a vast, intricate machine. The energy transition is about changing the entire machine itself. So, while it's easy to get lost in the headlines and the promises of a green future, the reality is stark. We're in a race against time, and at the moment, time is winning. Let's delve into a world of numbers, but not just any numbers. These are figures that define our planet's future. Have you ever wondered about the sheer volume of carbon emissions we produce? It's easy to throw around terms like carbon footprint without truly grasping the magnitude. So let's break it down. Imagine trying to capture and reduce our carbon emissions. Sounds like a noble endeavor, right? But the scale is mind-boggling. Even if we ambitiously aimed to capture a high of 10% of our emissions, we're talking about a staggering 4 billion tons every single year. That's equivalent to over 500 Great Pyramids of Giza worth of carbon every year. But here's the kicker. Right now, with all our technology and innovation, we're only capturing a paltry 0.1% of our emissions. It's like trying to bail out a sinking ship using a thimble. The challenges we face aren't just immense, they're unprecedented. And while the idea of carbon capture and storage sounds promising, the reality is daunting. To effectively sequester even 10% of our emissions, we'd need to develop an entirely new industry, one that can handle the colossal task of processing 4 billion tons year after year. And remember, that's just a fraction of the total emissions. But it's not all doom and gloom. The very fact that we're having this conversation, that we're aware of the scale of the challenge, is a step in the right direction. However, awareness alone won't save our planet. We need action, innovation, and a global commitment like never before. As we stand at this crossroads, we must confront a sobering truth. The tasks ahead are Herculean. We're not just battling against rising temperatures and changing climates, we're fighting against time, inertia, and the weight of our own history. You've probably heard a lot about energy, renewables, and our planet's future, but there are some myths out there that might be clouding your judgment. Let's debunk them together, shall we? Myth 1. Energy transition happen in the blink of an eye. You might think that we can just flip a switch and move from fossil fuels to renewables, but here's the truth. Energy transitions are slow, always have been. Think about it. Moving from wood to coal or coal to oil wasn't done overnight. So when someone tells you that we're on the brink of a complete energy revolution, remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Myth 2. We've got all the tech we need. It's tempting to believe that we have all the tools and technologies ready to go. But as Bill Gates pointed out and Vaclav Smil emphasized, more than half of the techniques we'll need for a non-fossil future haven't even been invented yet. So while we've made progress, there's still a lot of inventing, innovating, and scaling up to do. Myth 3. Transitioning is just like any other big project. Some might say, if we could land on the moon, we can transition to renewables easily. But here's a reality check. The scale and complexity of this energy transition are unlike anything we've ever tackled. It's not just about money or willpower, it's about reimagining and restructuring the very foundation of our modern civilization. So, next time you hear these myths, you'll know better. The journey ahead is challenging, but with the right knowledge and a collective commitment, we can and will pave the way for a sustainable future.